Day 83 of our journey through the Bible. Again, let me point out the parallels between 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles. That is, they are the parallel descriptions of the same periods of time. The King's material refers primarily to the activities that are going on in Israel, and the Chronicle materials are primarily dealing with the activities that are going on at the same time in Judah or the southern kingdom. You kind of need to keep track of this in your mind and maybe even make notes of it in your Bible. If you will keep this division clear as you read Kings and Chronicles, it will be very, very helpful to you. Notice also that the writer of Kings will, from time to time, position the history of Israel by referring to a king in Judah. You can see this, for example, in 1 Kings 22:41 through 50. Verse 45, he writes, "Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, and his might that he showed, and how he warred, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?" Gathering the details of these two books gives a view of two nations who are simultaneously taking two roads. They're different roads, but they both lead to the same destruction. Perhaps because Solomon's temple was there in Judah, there were more reminders of the need to worship Yahweh among the people in the south. In Israel, there were no reminders at all, only the powerful influence of the Baal culture that surrounded them on all sides. It's hard not to look at what happened and look at the compromise and the way it developed over generations to want to play the what-if game. Ralph Neighbor, who is the writer of the outline that I'm following in this whole material, he plays that game. He says, what if? What if the Israelites had done what God said when Joshua had led them into the land? What if they had literally driven out these evil tribal groups of Canaanites and had dedicated the land to Jehovah, or to Yahweh? What if their greed had not existed and they had utterly destroyed all the loot they took when they conquered the land? What if they had built altars everywhere to Yahweh instead of tolerating the altars to Baal and the Asherah that existed all around them? I think we can guess the answer, at least part of it. But of course, what we end up doing is tracing the results of wrong decisions made by people who had the opportunity to totally commit themselves to the living God. Their short-sightedness set the course for their children's children. Those back in the days of Joshua made what might have seemed like little compromise, but eventually those compromises would destroy future generations and cause them to be slaves of their evil conquerors. They will all be removed from the land they were given, made to live in Assyria and Babylon. They left slavery in Egypt and ended up in the same condition again. That's the lesson of these passages that our Bible cries out to us. It warns us there is no place for compromise between you and sin in your life. Satan will come every day in some way or another saying, take this temptation into your mouth. Let it be a bit of sweet candy. Enjoy its flavor. It won't hurt anything. But the God who loves us is saying that every day. I love you, and because I love you, follow me. Trust me. Live in the center of my presence, of my spirit, and know the sweetness of my blessings. Don't touch sin. This isn't just ancient history. This is a choice you will make today. What will it be? What will it be? We finish today reading from 2 Kings chapter 2. I begin with verse 12. And Elisha saw it and cried, my father, the chariots of Israel and its horsemen. And he saw him no more. Then he took hold of his own clothes and tore them in two pieces. And he took up the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. Then he took the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him and struck the water, saying, where is the Lord, the God of Elijah? And when he had struck the water was parted to the one side and to the other, and Elisha went over. Now when the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho saw him opposite them, they said, the spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. And they came to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. They said to him, behold now, there are with your servants 50 strong men. Please let them go and seek your master. It may be that the Spirit of the Lord has caught him up and cast him up upon some mountain or into some valley. And he said, you shall not send. But when they urged him till he was ashamed, he said, send. They sent therefore 50 men, and for 3 days they sought him, but did not find him. And they came back to him while he was staying at Jericho, and he said to them, Did I not say to you, do not go?